Welcome to episode 28 of the XrmToolCast. In this episode, Jonas and I sit down with David Yack, who, along with his wife Julie Yack, are part of the infamous Yack MVP power couple with over 30 years of MVP rings between them. David walks Jonas and I through his amazing tools webpage, CDS.tools, formerly XrmToolS. If you work with an online dynamic CE/CRM/CDS instance, and you have never used CDS tools or even heard of it, it's time that you start. And I promise you this is going to be a mind-blowing episode that you won't want to miss. So, let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of the XrmToolCast. With me, your host, Daryl, always raising the bar, and Jonas, who is not quite as humble as he once was. Yack. Not Yack. Jonas, Rap. Jeez.
I'm Yack.
I can't even get your name right. Oh, and I introduced the guest already. Oh, man.
Excellent
Man, I really
start to the episode, I think.
Well, I figured if we start out really low, we can only go up.
That's a good approach.
So,
yes.
That's the approach. So I gave you the bad news. We started out low, and now we'll move up. So, yes, as my slip of the tongue there went through, we do have in virtual studio, I guess you said, with our guest, 17-year awarded MVP David Yack. David, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Newly awarded. I think we're all three newly awarded.
Yep.
They haven't gotten rid of us yet, so we'll continue doing what we do, I guess.
Well, they keep having me back for another year, so you're stuck with me for another year.
All right. Well, that's worse people to be stuck with, Dave. Worse people. So, so you have a tool, David, that I don't think you do very well promoting. I guess if I was gonna say something along those lines, I think it's a tool that's kind of hidden and not a whole lot of people know about.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a secret. I don't know if it's a secret. It's kind of not as publicized as XRM Toolbox, but it's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's probably not as publicized as much, but it's been around for a fairly long time, and it operates on a much, I would say, a nicer, cleaner way because it's web-based rather than Windows-based. So, let's go ahead and name the tool, and then you can talk about some of the history here. So the tool we're talking about today is going to be CDS.tools. That's the web address. It's not CDS.tools.com. It's CDS.tools, formerly known as XrmTools. So if you've used that before, you may know what that is.
And you can actually still go to Xrm.tools.
Yes, I actually did that, and that's how I realized that the name had changed. So,
but
so
you need to fix the certificate there because you get a security error or a warning at least. Yeah.
Well, I had some problems with Azure renewing things. They stopped renewing automatically, and they don't send you emails anymore telling you that it's a problem.
Right.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea because everyone has in their calendar everything they need to renew every single time. Yeah.
All
right.
So we're sticking with CDS.tools.
Jonas, I'm not sure what you're talking about because I'm able to go there fine without getting any errors. Are you still getting it?
Yeah, I got it. Maybe I should just add HTTPS or something like that. Or it's the vast distance to Sweden. Yeah, I get non-secure for XrmTools.
Are you going to HTTPS or are you going to HTTP?
No, just HTTP, so maybe it doesn't redirect to the
It might not be auto redirecting on that one, but I'll actually take a look at that. We've tried to set most things to be auto flip over to the secure.
Yeah. So should I submit that to your sort of user feedback forum somewhere?
It's been noted, and
it's been noted. Great. So this show is we already accomplished something.
Yes, we've already helped you out, David. So now you owe us something. Totally. So I'll start here. There's quite a few tools here. Some that I actually didn't even know existed until I looked back. I'm like, he's added this. This is neat. But the one that I use all the time because A, I'm lazy, and B, I don't know PowerShell. I guess those are probably together the same thing, is the SDK tools download. I don't know if it's even a page. It's more of a website, but I guess there's probably some tools in the background running that prevent this, or that present this. So why don't you go ahead and talk a little about what the SDK tools download page there is, David?
Yeah, the SDK download page basically just lets you download the SDK tools for CDS and gives you a few different options to be able to do that. A couple of them we help you out. For example, the download SDK button literally gives you a zip file so you don't have to mess with NuGet and kind of unpacking it and all that type of stuff. If you use the Node Package Manager one, it will just give you a command line that you can update it whenever you want to get it. It really came about when they got rid of the self-installer. And I think it kind of fits the theme that you kind of nailed. I'm lazy, or I want an easy way to do it. And, that's kind of been the inspiration for a lot of the tools that we put on the site so far.
I think that's the sort of constant thing we conclude here on this show, that people being lazy leads to good tools.
Some of the best tools.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So actually, David, do you have a favorite tool, one that you use most on the site?
My favorite tool is the Server Trigger Explorer.
Okay.
But just to kind of give everybody kind of the gist of the site for those that haven't been there, it is an ASP.NET site. It basically works with multi-tenant authentication, so it works with any CDS online environment. Doesn't work with on-premise. The whole idea was to give some tools to work easier with CDS online environments.
Yeah. So right before we go too far into that, when you say CDS multi-tenant, for our listeners, what that means is you'll click on the tool, and rather than installing anything, you'll just log into your tenant. And when it does that, then it shares some information with the CDS tools about what your tenant is, and then it actually will talk directly to that on your browser, all secure through your normal secure connection. So it's a really nice feature to be able to not have to download anything, but yet still have access to everything that's going on in your specific instance. Did I get that right, David?
Yep, you nailed it.
All right, awesome. Yeah. So that was is that called three-legged auth, or is that different?
Oh, I always get confused with the different auth terms, but yeah, I mean, it essentially lets you work on behalf of the user. So, I mean, anything we do, we're doing on behalf of the user that's authenticated. So it's not getting carte blanche if you don't have it. It can't do things that you don't already have permissions for.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the kind of the background with it. Now, when did this tool first come out? When did you create the site?
We started it 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
really
new, not old,
but 5 years ago.
I'm too
and
lazy
you said we quite a bit of the time as well. What's the we there?
I've had contribution here or there from various people over time. So we've had a couple people work on it and add some stuff to it. Mostly the things have been things I built, just wanting to have a tool to make it easier to do stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember, I think I saw this site pretty early on, and I think that was my first sort of time I heard about you, Dave, because I was thinking I had just started working with Xrm Toolbox tools, and then pops up this XrmTools. So what is this rip-off thing? And like, okay, it only works online. Cannot be good. So, but it actually has a few highlights, definitely. It's too bad just that, because I just tried this server trigger tool on my very small environment, and it takes like a couple of minutes for it to go through everything.
Yeah, depending on how much automation you have, because what it's literally doing is it's looking at plugins, business rules, flows, workflows, any automation that you have, and highlighting what triggers have been established, and it looks across solutions, across entities. It gives you kind of that all-up view.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for our listeners, basically what that's going through and doing is it's looking at everything David mentioned, and then it's presenting to you a order of operations, what happens when a specific event is triggered for a specific entity. So you can see, okay, first the workflow fires, and this fires, and this fires, and this fires, and this fires, and it's specific to whatever you've got registered. That includes business rules, that includes JavaScript, all that kind of fun stuff. So lots of times, as a consultant, you may walk into a place and go, "Hey, why is this broken? What's breaking? what's doing this? What's causing this thing to happen? I click a button and something happens. What's causing? Well, you could use that trigger explorer to go find it and figure out what it's actually touching. Oh, this is touching it, and be able to then go and tweak it if you need to. So
yeah, and the reason it takes so long, Jonas, is it has to kind of rummage through all the different entities to get all that information, and they're not all in one place, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the plugins would be the easiest part since you just read all the plugin steps. But yeah, sure, for all the business rules and everything. And I also like the fact that you see warnings. For instance, when plugins have been registered for update but with no filtering attributes, and there are a lot of warnings for first-party Microsoft apps, I can tell you.
I was just going to say, if you want to have some fun, go run it on a field service environment.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, there's a lot of warnings there. So is this something you use to sort of feedback to Microsoft? Hey, look, I get a lot of red on your solutions.
I mean, the inspiration for it was really what Daryl nailed, is that, when you come into a new project or you pick up a solution for the first time, you don't know what's where. And the solution tools that are built in don't give you a good all-up view of things. And that's where this really comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on projects where I say, hey, we're going to use a lot of JavaScript in this form, so we're not going to use business rules, so no one gets confused about where the logic's happening. Where you might be able to relax that a little bit if you use the tool like this to figure out what's happening. Oh, this is happening on this event. Let me go and see what is firing on that event. Oh, okay, this business rule's firing, so I need to go check the logic in there as well as what's in the JavaScript.
Yeah, in the business rule viewer, there's a specific tool that's there for that also. Works with the client-side business rules also, whereas the server trigger explorer, like it's named, it just does the servers. So if you really want to dive into business rules and understand what's kind of making them work, the business rule viewer shows across all entities, because as you probably know, in the solution tools, you have to go to each entity to see the business rules. You can't see an all-up view, what business rules do I have?
Yep.
That's nice.
And then this also takes into account like the order in which you've registered them as well, correct? Because depending on that order which you've added it to the system affects what order they operate in, correct?
Right.
Yep. So you could troubleshoot something and realize, oh, well, in this environment we registered it this way because we're using unmanaged solutions, and it's different. I guess potentially you could have the same issue in managed solutions too.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Oh, I'm just wondering if you could have, so the order in which you're registering those business processes, I'm assuming, business rules, I'm assuming that will affect the order in which they run.
Yeah, if you're looking at business rules, I mean, it'll be based on the date published that determines that, if you really get into that. Most things don't really matter, the order of execution in most scenarios. I think only if you're doing math in them can you really get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're trying to add this, and then this triggers that when you add that, and you get kind of the wrong order there. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I actually think Tanguy created a tool to manipulate the order of your business rules.
It would have to just republish them, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
that's basically what it does, but you can do it from a nice interface. Okay, that's the Server Trigger Explorer. Any other?
And the business rule viewer.
Yeah, and the business rule viewer, absolutely.
Okay. So there's one more on the home page here, and that's the Security Role Explorer. So what's that do?
Security Role Explorer lets you look at the security roles that you have in an environment. You can look at a single security role to kind of see what privileges it has, but you can also compare the roles with each other. So if you take, for example, let's say I had a role A and a role B, and I compared them, it would show me what they had in common and what they had different.
Okay, that's always good to be able to do the compare and see what's going on.
You can also look at a user's roles, and it will combine all the user's roles together to kind of give you a view of what they have access to in its entirety. Because as we all know, or most of us know, it's the combination of all the roles that matter.
Yeah.
Yep. Never fun to debug that.
And entity, you can also look at it by entities to see which roles affect that particular entity. So, I mean, the genesis of these is to make your life easier, and you can kind of imagine how they got created, trying to, ravel some security roles that were complex.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming you had a project somewhere where it was such a nasty bowl of spaghetti that you had to write the tool to figure out what the heck was going on. So it wasn't a question of, is this going to save you time? It was a question of, I'm not going to figure this out otherwise.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of, there's a plugin trace viewer, which Jonas is probably near and dear to his heart, that topic, that it's not on the site yet. We haven't released it, but it's kind of available behind the scenes, and it lets you look at the plugin trace log and kind of highlights, who's the offender if you have some really active plugins in an environment.
Ooh. Okay.
Again, inspired by some plugin challenges, as you can imagine.
Is this totally based off of the plugin trace logs, or is this some
plugin trace logs? Yes.
Okay. Yep. All right. So awesome. Looks like, Jonas, you have some competition in your plugin trace viewer.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about some guy creating this site only for online environments.
And that's back when you were all on premise, Jonas, right? Yeah. Hadn't heard what the cloud was.
Yeah. Now I've actually woken up or joined the future, and I rarely ever, I don't know when I last saw an on-premise installation.
Yeah. And the advantage of this, though, Jonas, is it works on Mac if you're a Mac lover.
Ooh, yeah.
It'll work from Linux if you want.
Linux.
Actually, last night I tried it from my Android.
Yeah. It'll even work on Android, too. Did it work? Did it have any issues?
No, it worked fine.
No, and I think that, that kind of highlights one of the things that we were after, is to try to create some tools that you could just, because I repay my machines all the time, and I have to remember to install this and install that. And the less I can have to remember to install can run on any environment, the better. That's always been kind of the cornerstone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I maintain a list of things that I do for each machine, so that way I can go back. All right, what do I need to do? This one and that one and this one. Okay, I got to install this. And all right, here's the chocolatey package that has everything in it and I need it. Okay, all right, yeah, that.
And yet I still have to remember to install Fiddler the first time I need
it. Yep. We're not perfect, are we? Nope.
So moving on here, I see a WebAPI Builder.
Yeah, WebAPI Builder is a companion to the WebAPI wrappers that we have, also named XrmTool's CRM Web API, that have been examples of using it from JavaScript, .NET, Node, PHP. And this is kind of a companion to let you interact and do queries with the Web API. And it uses the same libraries. It gives you some examples. But again, it's kind of like a very simplistic fetch XML builder. If you want to build some fetch XML, you can test it real quickly. If you want to build a OData query, you can do it. And just kind of helps you work with the Web API.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if I didn't install Jason Latimer's tool for the CRM REST builder, then this would be a good way to go through and do that without having to install a solution then.
Yeah, exactly. If you need to quickly query, although now you've got new competition with the SQL Management Studio, you can just do SQL queries.
You're right. You got that, and then the other SQL for CDS, is that the name of it, Jonas?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Tool in the XRM toolbox. So yeah, there are lots of options. The space for querying tools for querying things in CDS is getting quite cluttered. We'll have to. Jonas is going to start losing out on all of his royalties he gets from the Fetch XML builder.
Oh, all of them, yes.
Oh, that's fun. So another one I saw was access tokens. What's that one do?
Access tokens kind of goes along with when we got the OData endpoint and we started doing OAuth for authentication. You needed a token, and if you just wanted to do some quick tests, you had to kind of go through gymnastics to be able to do that. And so what it'll quickly give you is an access token that you can use with testing with the API without having to go through the OAuth dance yourself.
And is this what would be like useful if you're doing some Postman testing as well?
You're doing some Postman testing and you could go through Postman and set up the OAuth in there. But if you wanted to quickly, like within about 10 seconds, do a query, you grab a token from here, paste that in the header, put your query in, and you're good to go.
Good to go. All right. I saw someone go through and set up the things through Postman and then start using it, and I completely forgot it after seeing it and said, I think I'm not going to remember that at all. So, so that's a good feature. I like that one. You get points for that one in my book.
Yeah, me too. It was actually a fast tool as well.
Yeah, it actually is just mostly visual to display it.
Everything is already there in the background anyway, I guess, since you're
Correct.
authenticated.
All right, and then we have 3 more tools here. The auto number creator, is that in direct competition to Jonas's tool there?
Well, this was created before they had an actual web interface for being able to do the editing of it in the Maker portal, and it effectively allows you to turn a field into an auto number. Yeah, it's a simplistic version of what Jonas has created.
Okay, cool.
But it works.
Cool.
There actually was some other ones. For example, we used to also have a sitemap editor on here, but that got absorbed into the product since it now has
I remember
its own sitemap editor. We just hid it on here. We'll probably do the same thing with the auto number creator at some point now that it's in the Maker portal.
Mm.
All right. And then you have record counts. Does that use the new methodology of record counts, or is that doing the old record methodology of record counts?
What's the old and the new from your standpoint?
Well, I'm assuming this is what I assume it is, and that it just gives you the total number of entities that you have.
Number of records for an entity.
Number of records for that entity.
Some of the records you have for an entity. There we go.
So if you had 30, 40 million records, it would give you a count.
Yes, and it would do it with a single call, or would it do it doing the 5,000 at a time?
5,000 at a time.
Okay, all right. So then there's the new request in CRM or in CDS that actually gives you the record count. There's a record count request now, so that tool could be made way faster if you want.
Wow, I never knew. Was that introduced recently?
I think it's within the last year.
Okay.
It was introduced.
Is that a message, Daryl?
Yeah, it's a new message that they add.
And it's always all records, no filtering or anything.
Yes. There's no. I don't think there's any.
Yeah, I mean, it really came about when you're doing like a data migration and you want to know how much you actually created. It shouldn't be that difficult of a question to ask. You should be able to find that out pretty easy.
Yeah.
Totally. Yes, I've ran into that before and like talked about. Well, if you needed to do actual queries, you didn't want to do something else. Like you could do weird like filtering and say, hey, if it starts with this letter, then get this count, and that letter get that count, because there's these stupid maximas we run into. But yeah, I ran into it when I was doing a upgrade for one thing, a migration, and I was like, all right, I have no idea how many records we have, but I know how long it takes to do 1,000. How long is this going to take? And so I had to run that in the background to get the actual total number of counts. So
you knew
kind of
exactly the amount of time it took for 1,000 records, and you could do 1,000 at a time, but you had no idea how many times you were going to do that.
Yeah, well, I had an automatic loop to go through and process chunks and batches, and that was the question.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm still trying to find that link. I know it's out there.
Yeah,
I'll find it eventually.
So there's an Azure region check. It doesn't really sound like it's something belonging in here, but I guess it does.
It's another tool. So it's for integration purposes. What it does is it actually installs a small solution in an environment. It then will ping a function on 16 different, I think it's 8 to 10 different Azure regions, and it will tell you what is closest to your environment.
Right.
Okay, so you can figure out what environment you need to, or what Azure environment you may want to put your service on that talks to
exactly.
Your CDS
so you don't end up putting it in West US and find out that you're really in East US.
Okay, since the CDS regions don't map one-to-one with the Azure regions, of course.
Correct.
Okay. So the tool, I'm just trying it out now. It's automatically installing the solution, and then it starts pinging, I guess. So
and it's an example of one that's a little bit different than some of the other tools. So like the tools we've been talking about so far are all no footprint left behind, and that's been one of the things we've tried to always do. But in order to get accurate timings from a plugin talking to an Azure integration, you actually have to have a small plugin that does the work. Otherwise, you're just guessing from the client side, not from the server side. So this is an example of one that will install a small little solution and then run the web resource from there and do the pings out on there. There's another one that's hidden that we can talk about in a little bit if you remind me to ask me about the hidden one that I'm experimenting with now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you said there's a plugin and there's a web resource that's doing the the testing here in the Azure Region Test tool. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the plugin actually gets invoked from the server side through an Azure through a action. It then calls out to the Azure function in each of the regions and reports back the time that it took to talk to that, and it does that multiple times to kind of get an average.
Okay. Yeah, and now I get a list with the fastest region on top and the slowest on the bottom. I should not do anything in the Southeast Asia region.
You're probably not close to there right now.
No, I'm West Europe. I can see.
And if you are, the world has changed.
Yeah. So is there any option to uninstall the solution after I've done my testing?
We don't currently offer it from within there. You can manage it just like any other solution.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is all working from your browser to your environment, or is it running on the CDS.tools server connecting to the environment?
All of them so far we've been talking about have been either a combination. So like Business Rule Explorer is all done. It's a browser, presents the results. The work does from an ASP.NET Azure server talking to yours. The record counts is an example of one that's all client, for example. Same with the creating the auto number. Those are all just a client module, like a web resource running hosted in the site.
So the ASP.NET web page is the thing that's actually installing the solution for you in your
in the case of this one, this one follows a different model. And we actually prototyped it with Scott with Ribbon Workbench, where you could actually have Ribbon Workbench and click on it and it would install it and then launch it for you. So you didn't have to download a tool and things like that.
Oh, all right. That might be a suggestion for another tool, is to have some of these solution-based tools and just quickly install, I guess.
Yeah, essentially the only thing that's negative about the solution ones is you have a footprint you leave behind. And I really like the idea of not having a footprint. The one that I was talking about that was hidden that we're experimenting with is one created for environment variables that has been recently added to CDS. And you probably know the tooling for that in the portal is really immature. So we actually prototyped a Power Apps Canvas app that would plug in like a tool in the site and basically kind of allow you to do tooling using that model. And it's really powerful because then you can use Canvas apps to build it. The only negative of that approach is you do have to have a solution footprint that installs in it. And the other negative we found is the permissions, because whoever installs that first Canvas app that way is the owner of it. We don't have a way to incrementally add other permissions to it, because it has to be the owner of that app that grants the permission after that. So we're still working through trying to get that model, but what we want to be able to do is have Canvas apps extend the tooling model on the site.
Yeah.
Okay. So you actually are installing a Canvas app that then is it then opening up in CDS then, that Canvas app then?
Yeah, it actually runs it, hosts it in the browser, runs it in the line.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I can handle that, especially if it's a tool you want to use and that's just the easy way to install it. I could see that.
Well, and also the ease of building it. I mean, if you could just build tools using Canvas apps, makes it tremendously easy to build it without having to get into low level, pick your favorite framework.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really like WinForms.
Yeah, you're in the wrong place now, Dave. We're into WinForms.
Yeah, I guess talking to the XrmToolbox guys, I shouldn't talk about newer, modern UI extensions.
Oh, it's on the interweb. I see. Yeah. No, that sounds really cool, sense. Actually, with the Canvas app embedded in your site.
Yeah, I just hope I can get the permission stuff worked out. I mean, it works really good for the first person that installs it. So like if you came here, ran the environment manager, it would install the small solution, grant you access to the app, run the app, and it all works great. But then Daryl comes along and he wants to do the same thing. The app and solution is already installed, but Daryl doesn't have permission to it. Now, if you went and manually granted Daryl access to it, it would all work fine through the site. But being able to automate that and scale that out for multiple people in an environment is the challenge I have right now.
Yeah. So are you poking some folks in Redmond for that to happen?
I need to. It's on my list. I keep kicking it ahead week by week on my to-do list.
Yeah. It's what happens to these sort of nighttime moonlighting work with the toolings that we're doing. real work comes in the way too often.
Well, it's problem driven, so problem drives the solution.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that was the gist with environment variables, because environment variables, you can't easily look at all the environment variables in an environment.
Yes, you use Fetch XML Builder. Problem solved.
Well, this provides a nice little Canvas app to do that.
Okay, well, I don't have a Canvas app, but Canvas app is nice.
Cool. There's also a feedback section on the website that I've gone in and just entered feedback to suggest that you use the retrieve total record count request. That's the request to get the record count, so you can update the tool and get it lickety-split rather than doing it the old way of doing it. And it's still, I mean, there's not an easy way to call that in the. I don't think there's any UI for that, so it still kind of needs to have that sort of tool built for it. So yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if you could just go to a page and have all your record counts?
It would be very nice.
Along with your capacity.
Give me until the weekend and you will have it. Not on a web page, unfortunately, but we like WinForms.
Yeah. All right, that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, we've talked about every tool on the site that you've publicly shown and one that you haven't publicly shown yet. So we're kind of interested to see that when that comes out. So let us know when that comes out. There is a site to put requests to report issues and stuff like that. Is there any way to say, hey, I'd like to develop a tool and I want to use that platform? Have you done that with anybody, or are you still?
We started putting out kind of the same model that we use for like the record count one, where we just basically hand you the API and you can build off that. And I just really haven't reached out to a lot of people to have it, but I'm certainly open to it. If somebody wanted to build a tool and get it out there, I'm happy to entertain that.
Okay, cool. So, and if they want to do that, they would just use the contact site on the site to contact you then?
Yep, or reach out to me on LinkedIn.
All right. That makes sense. Anything on the tool that we missed? Anything else you want to call out? Anything else personally you want to call out?
No, I think those are the key ones. I mean, the gist of it, there's ideas you have that you think would be good fit, or even if you guys want to port a couple of the XRM Toolbox, the ones over, welcome you on there. You could do lightweight versions of them and point back to the Toolbox full version.
Yeah. Interesting. So just one question. It was called XrmTools, now it's CDS.tools. So the title of this site, is that like a variable that you can easily change when Microsoft changes branding next time?
I have some other tools domains that I've reserved for that just in case.
Yeah. That's good.
Totally. Well, David, thanks for being with us. Really appreciate the time. Appreciate these tools out here. There's a couple that were new to me that I'm going to most likely use in the near future. Is there anything else or any other way that they want people to get a hold of you besides LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn's always good. Or if you're looking for training, look at 365.training.
Yep. And yourself and Julie does a lot of work on that as well, I'm guessing?
Yeah, we've got a whole crew that's it's going to get real exciting soon, adding a lot more content.
Yeah. David is in the unique place of being married to another MVP in the business solutions space. And so combined, they have over 30 years, I think, of MVP stickers.
We have a few. I'm trying to figure out what I do now that my rings overflow the rack that they give you to put them on.
Well, at least they're still humble about it. Yep. Yeah, that's something that I who knows if anybody else will have a problem with. They'll come up with a solution. What's supposed to happen is you're supposed to remove the rings when you get your 5-year ring. I think that's what's
supposed to happen.
Yeah,
but I hate to get rid of things that have been given.
Well, yeah, you may want to think about doing that at some point in time because you might be an episode of Hoarders otherwise.
Is that another podcast you host?
No, that's a show in A&E where they have people that never throw away things and they can't walk through their house. It's unbelievable.
See, I thought you were doing Power Platform Hoarders.
Maybe we should do that. All these old solutions that we still use that we need to get rid of. That might make sense.
Or maybe all these old unused tools in XrmToolbox.
No, it's all the activity records that you keep with annotations and files and
that
images.
makes more sense.
That's Power Platform hoarding. Yeah.
It's the 28 million activity records that you're holding around.
Exactly.
You just might need them. Yes. All right. Okay. I'm picking up what you're laying down now, Dave. I got it. I've got it. Well, that's how to get a hold of our guests. LinkedIn primarily, and the CRM training, 365 training. What's the name of the site?
365.training.
365.training. So highly recommend that. Jonas, how do people get a hold of us?
They reach out on Twitter at XrmToolCast. And of course, we're also right by David Yack on LinkedIn. Just search for XrmToolCast there. And there's email, of course, cast@xrmtoolbox.com.
Right by him. I love that. I didn't think about that's our promotion. We're right next to David Yack. That's
where we are.
That's where we are. You find us in the X's just before the Y's. So,
yep.
All right. Well, Dave, again, thanks for your time. Really appreciate all the tools, and thanks for joining us.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good one. Bye. This has been the XrmToolCast with Jonas Rapp and Daryl Labar. If you have any questions for Jonas or I, or suggestions for future episodes, please send them to cast@xrmtoolbox.com or tweet to XrmToolcast.